Welcome to Money Talk Viewpoint. I am your host, Dennis Williams with Quickly Grow Wealth. Thanks for joining us. And today we have with us Charles Dents with Xelantt Profit Strategies. He is all about enabling mid-sized businesses who have moved successfully from that startup phase and are looking to move to the next level, but they've found that they've kind of plateaued in their revenues. So he's here to give us some tips on how to successfully make that transition. Charles, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate being on the show and looking forward to our conversation. And just so that people know, clients ask me to transform their business to increase revenue. And increasing revenue shows up in several ways, whether they're looking for strategic investors or they're just looking to grow their business. And the way that I do that is through increasing knowledge. And then the two things that I'll also include that most do not, and that's the ability to implement and then have sustainable execution. Then the second thing is accelerating process. The strategic processes using AI tools, and as well as then establishing efficient operations, and then finally scaling their companies to surpass their current growth limitations.
So kind of restate that again, and maybe just like 3 bullet points, just so we can be focused on what you're telling.
Yeah. So growth happens in really 3 different ways. That is acceleration of strategies and implementing those strategies using AI tools. Number 2 would be to establish efficient operations. And number 3 is ultimately scaling to grow past limitations.
Okay, that's great. And so each of those is a mouthful to be able to effectively achieve.
Yeah,
and recognizing being a small business owner, I'm already maxed out. So before I'm going to spend a lot of time, I guess my first question would be, Charles, how did you get to this and what makes you an expert?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I started back in 2007, around 2007, 2008, and helping a couple of small startups. And in doing so, I realized that there was a certain skill set that I had that really I had not honed in on and fully recognized. So I began helping additional small startups as well as then moving to larger companies and helping them become successful. And as I started doing that, I started to formulate some strategies that really fit and work time after time. And so then I started helping some larger companies. And basically what that looks like is from a transformation standpoint, where they're trying to get into new markets, they were trying to have new product or service launches, or just simply get unstuck because, as you mentioned earlier, they just plateaued and had become stagnant and didn't know what was next, didn't know how to get to the next level. So because of that, then I really formulated this 5-stage business evolution and just recognizing that there are stages of growth. And number 1 would be startup phase. Number 2 would be the growth phase. Number 3 would be the maturity phase. Number 4, the expansion phase. And number 5, the dominance phase. So those 5 phases really are key. And with each phase, there's a transformation that has to take place by the business owner.
Okay, so when you end up moving into organizations and spending time with them, kind of what have you found is kind of the key pitfalls or mistakes that companies make that are kind of holding them back from being able to grow quickly?